Well, I passed. I did pass. I went ahead and took all of the time they offered. However, I kept writing down where I was, at each time place, and I probably didn't really answer anything meaningful in the last hour and a half. And the thing is, the questions that I didn't get were questions. The answers were in books I just didn't have. So I brought 7 of the 22 books. And, so those last questions, I could have, there was no way to look for them. And obviously it took a lot longer to not find them. And there were definitely some techniques that made it much, much more efficient. So the reason that I'm here in Washington, D.C. is because they offer the test every day of the week, including Sundays, and without any advance notice. So I just came back from my cruise and took the test, and now I'm done, and I'm starving. So I suppose I'll just sort of walk around and, some tips. Like I said, I was able to pass with only 7 of the books. So that's definitely a thing. My score was 86, so there wasn't a lot to spare. And like I said, if you have the right books, you can, and you've sort of practiced looking stuff up, you can look up each answer in a minute or two. So, and I went through and I was able to answer, 30 or 40 before even opening the book. So that's one thing that I definitely did do in terms of strategies. I went through and I just answered all the things I knew off the top of my head, and the math questions, everything I could answer without opening the books, just so that I could have those knocked out. And also I sort of jotted down what questions were based on the plans, and so that I could be focused and more efficient. And it was just a lot more relaxing. So here's the books that I brought. I had to bring all of this with me on my cruise. So that was a pain. And then, I checked out of the hotel. But I've got the OSHA book, and then the IBC, I bought 2018. The rest I got from Goodwill, so they're older. they don't have all of the page numbers the same. But so job site management, project management, the PPCC, and then what I call the joy of cooking of construction, the carpentry. And the interesting thing about the carpentry book is it really has everything. So this is when there's words about bricks or blocks or ties or rebar that I don't really have experience in, I actually look here because I wasn't about to pay $100 for a masonry book. And no regrets. I have no regrets, let me tell you. So some logistics, right? For one thing, they wouldn't allow me in with my hood. So I had this hoodie. They made me take it off. They don't let you use your own pen, and you have to put everything away. Here in Washington, D.C., they had lockers, so I was able to put my suitcase away. They have a calculator. I didn't use my own calculator. Trying to think what else about the logistics. Oh, they do let you start as soon as you get there, which is a big difference because I could hear everybody coming in at 9, which is, I was the only one taking this test. In fact, the proctors said that I was only the 3rd person that they've seen take the test. Side note, we were all women, and I was the only one that passed of that small sample. But so at 9 o'clock, there was a rush of people, and all of them ended up having to wait in line. And so I was able to get started much, much faster just by getting there early, and they let me start as soon as I had checked in and I'd been searched. So honestly, I pointed out, I said to my husband, oh, as soon as I finish, I'm going to throw all these books out because they're really not any use. And he reminded me that he's planning on taking the test, so he wants me to bring them home. So fine, I'm going to keep all my laptop and everything separate and bring them back so that he can now take the exam and we can both have the license. So you can see that the test is heavily weighted for the first 2 categories and the last one. And really my big problem the first time was in fact this procurement area. Not that I did very well in the first 2 either, because I figured that those were mostly common sense. But, there really is hardly any questions. That's, I'm not going to buy the stupid metals book just so I can get another 3 questions. And the same thing with masonry. It's a huge body of knowledge to get another 3 questions, right? Because by pure chance, I'll get 1 or 2, even if I don't know anything. So the Cengage, I bought the Cengage book. I had to buy it online because they didn't deliver it, but they were great at just, by going through the practice questions, I learned how to get familiar with the IBC and OSHA. And you know what? I really hardly used the tabs at all. If I would do anything different, I would put less tabs rather than more, but maybe more highlighting, or underlining. But yeah, it's just a matter finding the material in the book, and the books that you need to look up things the most are not indexed well. And so that's, it really is, it's it doesn't teach you how to be a contractor. It teaches you how to look up stuff. But whatever, it is what it is. Just shows you're motivated. Now, the other thing, I alluded to it before, is so on the test, if they ask a question and you find the answer in the book, it will be word for word. But these are the 7 books I had. And so a lot of the times, for instance, they'd be asking a question out of ACI or modern masonry, quite a lot out of the stupid pipe and excavation. And so I wouldn't have word for word. But a lot of the stuff was kind of alluded to in carpentry and job site management and CCPP. I don't know where it is. This PPCC. This one is kind of a catch-all. And so, but if you have all the books, you'll know when you find the answer because it is word for word like the question. Anyway, that was my experience, and I hope it helps someone.